What's up guys? Matt, Legacy 4x4 here with Jake. Got another weekend together and we're working on the Dodge. We got some hydraulic bump stops and some limit straps we're gonna put on it. So we stopped breaking my coilover bolts for the third time. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Alright, so as you can see, we already have one of the bump stops in. We did it off camera, that way we could get the measurements right, that way we don't mess the measurements up in front of you guys. But it's pretty simple. All you do is do full droop, full extension, measure how far you want your bump stops to go, how far you want your limit straps to go, and then you install them. It's really that easy. These limit straps will stretch about an inch per every 12 inches, so these are 24-inch limit straps, so we're gonna add 2 inches, and then we're gonna do a ½ inch of leeway as well for those. Bump stops are pretty simple. These are 4.5-inch bump stops. These are the Fox 2.0 bump stops. That's what we're using. When we install them, we're going to do about 1/8 of an inch down travel on the shock left. That way there's a little bit of area and we're not limiting travel. So that's what we're going to do. It's really that simple. Let's get a close-up of what we already done, and then we can talk through how we're going to put these in. Alright, so here's the side we already got done. As you can see, we got about 1.5 inches of travel before that bump stop hits the axle housing. And technically we should add a little pad right there or some kind of flat area for the bump stop to hit. But I think with the size of the Super Duty axle tubes, I think we're going to be perfectly okay just running the bump stops directly into the axle tubes. And if we're not okay, we'll add one later, and we can always adjust the size and adjust the height of this bump stop. That way we still maintain that 1/8 inch clearance at the bottom of the coilover travel. Limit straps we have going to an old leaf spring housing. I welded the bottom to that, and then we have a nice hole in the frame where I think the rear leaf springs used to hang on the back of this Dodge. Oh no. Excuse me, the front of the rear leaf springs used to hang there because I cut off like 3 feet of the frame. So the front rear leaf spring hanger is the bolt hole we're using for the top of the limit straps. Alright, as you can see, this bump stop's going to sit 3 inches below the top of the frame. That's the same on each side because I know my rig is symmetrical. So 3 inches down this piece of, this is 5-inch plate I'm welding to, so it's nice and sturdy, but 3 inches down, I'm going to weld the can for the bump stop, and I'm going to know that that side's symmetrical to the passenger side. It's also going to be gutted out at an angle a little bit forward. I'd probably call that 15 degrees maybe, going out towards the axle to maintain that inline symmetry with the coilovers. That way, as the axle rotates, everything stays in line. That way, the bump stop shares the same geometry as the coilovers. So I'm going to go ahead and tack in the can with the bump stop in the can itself. That way I can get the angle right of the can. Then I'm going to throw in my 2 gussets as well to the side plating. That way it's nice and secure. Then we're going to put a nice little paint job on it and we're going to call it a day. Alright, so that's everything tacked in. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and jack this edge of the truck up, and that's going to be twofold. The first reason is going to be to show you how I measure the limit straps, and the second reason is going to be to take those bump stops out since they're at an angle and they can't come up into the frame. So twofold. Let's get it done. Alright, we got the end of the limit strap. We have the truck completely jacked up. All 16 inches of travel on the coilovers are showing, and we have a hole drilled right here. This is 2.5 inches above where the limit strap meets the frame. That 2 inches is to accommodate the stretch in the limit straps, and then I have a ½ inch, you know, just for whatever. You never know what's going to happen. A ½ inch is for safety. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw a bolt through that limit strap, and then put the bump stop in, finish it all up, and then we can talk about it. Some of these welds look really nice under paint, like the ones right here. Yeah. On the 5, like it literally looks like if a shop did that, you wouldn't be sad about it. Yeah. Alright guys, that's the bump stop video. Sorry it was so quick, and I also promised you we're going to have a video testing it soon. We're probably going to go to UARI soon, and we'll do a video testing all this stuff out. There's a few more things on the list for the red Dodge. I got to get bigger tires for it. These 37s aren't going to cut it. Probably going to go to about a 42, I think. I got to redo the front steering. I'm probably going to go full hydro, so that's going to be its whole process. And then I got to lock the front. And then I think we're going to take it to UARI. So, you know, there's a lot of things on the list. I just, you know, I keep having more things I want to do to it. Things keep coming up. I mean, honestly, that's just the way it works. You can't really change that, you know. Building takes a lot of time, and there's always more on the to-do list. But glad we got the Fox bump stops on. Glad we got the Poly Performance limit straps on. It should stop me from breaking my top bolts. These top bolts are only 3/8 inch thick, so they're prone to breaking. I already bent 2 of them just doing that little basic trail riding. So, you know, if I ever take a hardcore rock crawling, they're absolutely sure to shear. So, with that being said, this is a good little fix. It'll definitely limit the damage done to the back of this and also protect the 4-link. So, I think at this point though, the rear suspension's done. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I don't think there's much more we can do to the rear, but once we stretch the front and 4-link the front, there'll be this whole thing is going to happen all over again. So, you know, with that being said, I don't think there's any more for this one. We're going to go work on some more projects together. We got the rest of the weekend.
As y'all can see, I was obviously heavily involved in this. Truth is, Matt actually did most of this work himself. He just used a lot of my tools to make it happen. But
Yeah.
we're here, we're making it happen, so thanks for watching, guys.
Also, Jake got a boat, and this is his version of helping. Yeah, boat life. Pretty sick.